I watched that Unicorn Store movie. Brie Larson in it. I thought it'd be an easy, movie to just make fun of, get some laughs. But I don't know if I ended up liking it. But it wasn't what I expected. It was pretty weird, pretty bizarre, really, disturbing. I'll try to give the gist of it without explaining everything in case you want to watch it. But it starts out with this, like weird girl or like autistic or something, and she's like 30 something, and she failed at art school because of her social problems, and she just watches like children's cartoons and 80s, like 80s cartoons and everything, and she's obsessed with like unicorns and and then this like guy, this family friend of theirs, I guess, Samuel L. Jackson. They start spending time together, and the trailer was a complete bait and switch. Like it wasn't really accurate depiction of like some of the scenes weren't even in there. But Samuel L. Jackson, she's she's trying to work at this temp firm, right? But she doesn't like it, and then so the family guy, the family friend Samuel L. Jackson. Invites her to go to his store, right, to help work over there. Thought it'd be more fun or something, and then he ends up, promising her a unicorn. If she does good for like, comes in for like the first, the full month and isn't late and doesn't have outbursts with the customers and stuff, and so he buys her like a big stuffed unicorn, like like a plushie or whatever they call it. Obviously not a real one, because you can't buy a real unicorn, of course. And I guess he thought she understood that. She starts getting angry and saying that, and saying he's lying, he's a liar, and starts like screaming and spazzing out, really. And it's like showing flashes of her watching like her cartoons, as an adult still, like about how lying is bad and everything, and she's just getting really angry, and then she grabs a bat and she starts bashing his head in, and he gets knocked out, and then the screen goes black, and we're in her apartment that she's that her parents were paying for, and she takes like saws and hardware from the store, and she starts like doing this weird shit where she bleaches his skin white, and she like sews these wigs into his scalp and along his back to like make him into, I guess, a unicorn, right? Because that's, she says she's gonna make a unicorn. She's gonna make it for herself, like unicorn. I guess that's what it's called, Unicorn Store. And I don't mean to get graphic, but the movie is, spoilers. But and she saws off part of his arms and legs so that they're like stumps, and I guess to make them like hooves, and she's of course stripped him down by now, and she sees his genitalia. This poor old man, and she says she wants her pretty unicorn to be a girl, and she doesn't like the bad boy parts, and it goes to this long, like 20-minute flashback about her being sexually abused as a child, and then she starts performing like the trans surgery thing where they cut off the stuff, and when male to female, it's like a gaping wound that they leave there between the legs, and they have to put something in there like every day to keep it from sealing up from the wound, to keep the wound from sealing itself up, and she's been looking at these things online, I guess, and talking to her like lesbian friend who kind of tries to hit on her a lot, who's in med school, and talking to her about these things, but I don't know if she's really in on it. I don't think so. And she's shoving this, she shoves this stick thing up there. It's like a thing that cheerleaders use, I guess that's the tail, the rainbow colored tail thing, into the wound for the dilation, and it's very disturbing, and it's kind of like the human centipede, but just with one old man and some crazy woman who doesn't have any medical experience, which I gotta say I found a bit unrealistic. At least in Human Centipede, the guy was like a doctor, right? Like a surgeon for years, a German doctor guy. He knew what he was doing, so okay. And he had the stuff, but she just kind of had, random junk and didn't have any education or experience. I guess she was looking at stuff online and she talked to her friend, but I don't know. It just seems crazy that she could have kept him alive. He wouldn't have died through all that. But I mean, you gotta. It's called Unicorn Store. It's not that serious of a movie. Well, I mean, it's serious, but I can let that slide. If it's more, I guess, just the weird experience. It's this troubled woman's breakdown and her delusion, and the end where she shows her parents herself riding on the unicorn. It's quite strange, but I have to say I thought it was just going to be another, generic crappy movie or whatever that came out a few years back and they were just putting on Netflix and trying to push it from the hype of, this big Marvel movie she and Samuel L. Jackson were in. But this was definitely something different, something strange, and they didn't tell people about it because they wanted to, to have it shock people. They didn't want to give it all away, but I think that might not have been a good idea because I think more people would see it if they knew how unique it was. And at the end, after they've rescued Samuel L. Jackson, he doesn't press charges at the guy who owned the store and everything. He instead thanks her for removing his toxic, helping with his toxic masculinity and making him truly a unicorn. And then she still rides him around after that. And really, there was no problem or punishment for that. And she just kind of rides him around, and she lives in his big, house, like big mansion, because he had businesses and everything. And I guess she just does that till he dies, and then she inherits all the money because they're together, I guess. But I don't know. It's a pretty strange ending, but at least it had a good feminist message, I guess. And it was, I don't know how intersectional it was, though, because she bleached his skin, but I guess it was just to make him into a magical horse, a mythological creature. So I guess it wasn't racist, really, but I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird, but I'm not sure what to give this kind of movie as a review, like a score, my patented ultra review score system. I just don't know. I guess I'll let you decide for yourselves, what you think about it when you see it.